Okay, I'm live. Welcome, everybody. Hope everybody's having a great weekend. Let me know when you're in here. I'll give you guys some shout outs. We'll get started. Okay, I see the live little indicator popped up. It's always a little bit late, but anyways, yeah, guys. So I want to talk about Caitlyn Jenner at CPAC because RSBN, Brian Glenn did an interview with Caitlyn Jenner, and I saw it pop up in my notification. So I clicked on the video to see what the interview was about, and I saw the ratio, which I already had a feeling was coming, and there's a lot of flack that RSBN's getting. A lot of comments. So I just want to like chime in, give you my 2 cents on that, because I know that it is a wedge issue in the conservative movement. So I want to give you my take on that. The second thing I want to talk about is the Haitian president was assassinated this week. And if you know about the history of Haiti and the United States and just what's gone on in that country over the past like 10, 20 years, it doesn't pass the smell test. Some people are saying that this Haitian president was against the vaccine. So we'll get into that. And then lastly, I want to talk about the cyber Polygon that's going on this weekend right now as we speak, where I'm surprised there aren't more people talking about it. I know that Luke from We Are Change, he's always talking about these kind of topics that are not really covered by mainstream conservatives. So yeah, we'll get into that. This, if you don't know about it, the cyber Polygon, which is a high level, basically dry run of a cyber pandemic, which to me sounds like the next power grab, but we'll get into all of that. I'll give you my 2 cents on all those things, and then I'll wrap it up. Now I see we got some people in here now. We got Jennifer, we got Adventures with Christian, we got Patty. Hold on, let me pull up this other chat. I like to use the YouTube chat, not the StreamYard chat. Okay, here we go. Now I get some shout outs. Okay, yeah. We got Charles, my man Charles in the chat. What's up, Charles? It was good to do that meeting with you, that Zoom call. It's good to meet some of the people that support both me and Right Side Broadcasting. Patty, we got Alexander, we got Beer God, Lucas Snow, and we got Abby. Okay, we got Gonzalez. Okay, we got a good little crowd here. Make sure you guys give it a thumbs up, please. Please, please, please. Like. All right, thank you. So let's get started. All right. Let's talk about Caitlyn Jenner at CPAC. Now, you guys all know Caitlyn Jenner is running for governor of California. Now, before people get triggered, because I know that no matter what I say, no matter what my take is on this, people aren't going to like it. Some people are going to love it. Some people are going to hate it. It just is what it is. All right. Now, I think I actually talked about this before when Caitlyn Jenner said that he was running for governor of California. And I did want to emphasize he, because I'm going to go into that, right? But he's running for governor of California. Everybody knows Gavin Newsom is just a disaster, a nightmare. People want him gone. He's getting recalled, like all of the fiasco regarding him. That's well documented. But Caitlyn Jenner running for governor has caused a divide. Some people love it. They're like, oh, yeah, what's the left going to do with this? A trans person running as a conservative, right? There's that. And then there's the other side where people are like, this is dumb. Nobody should endorse Caitlyn Jenner. We're just swinging the Overton window further to the left. We're just trying to play their game. And when you have this big tent and you let everybody under it, then it waters down what it means to be conservative. Like, what are you conserving? I see both sides of the argument. Like, I understand where they're both coming from. And, you know, RSBN is getting some flack, not a ton. I mean, we got 1.5 million subscribers, but there's people that are very upset. So I want to show you guys really quickly. I want to read some of the comments. You guys can kind of understand what's going on here. Okay, so look, here's the interview Brian did today. Maybe it was yesterday or today. I don't know. It was uploaded today. Interview with Caitlyn Jenner. Right off top, look at the ratio. 386 upvotes to 399 downvotes. That's almost an even split as far as what people think about this interview. Now, if you are on the outside looking in, it looks like, okay, RSBN's at CPAC interviewing candidates. It's just an interview, right? That's fair. But let's look at some of these comments. There are people among us who are subverting the right. This is the ducks and the hens. Wake up. If this doesn't open your eyes to what CPAC really is, nothing will. There's definitely comments in here about Caitlyn being Bruce. Bruce, you can't run California correctly with Satan in your life. Get some help. Here's my thing, all right? Now that I'm reading some of these comments and refreshing my memory, I'm not on board with dehumanizing a person just because they are trans, okay? And like I said, some people are going to be mad, downvote, unsub, that's fine. Some people are going to agree with what I have to say. But two things can be true at the same time, all right? Now, personally, I'm not on board with endorsing Caitlyn Jenner for governor. I just call me old school, call me a bigot, if you will. I just can't call Caitlyn Jenner a woman. Does that mean that Caitlyn Jenner is evil? Caitlyn Jenner is going to hell? Caitlyn Jenner is this awful human for living his life how he wants to live it? You know, there's this thing, maybe you've heard of it before. Love the sinner, hate the sin. That's where I'm at. Love the sinner, hate the sin. Now, Bruce, Caitlyn, whatever, I'm calling him Caitlyn because he changed his name to Caitlyn, but I'm not going to say her. I'm not going to say she because that's not a woman, right? We can't have it both ways. We can't talk about how men compete in women's sports and they're blurring the lines of gender, but then we're okay with it as long as it's on our side and they're running for governor and we can own the libs like with Caitlyn Jenner for governor. You got to pick one. But he changed his name to Caitlyn. I have no problem saying Caitlyn. It is what it is. But I don't acknowledge that as a woman. And I think it's perfectly fine to have that stance. Now, I know I'm probably in the minority amongst my peers, but that's fine. That's fair. We're allowed to have different opinions, right? But to go so far as to dehumanize Caitlyn and say like you're the devil, you're evil, that's not helpful. And honestly, that's his battle. That is his battle to take up with the Lord. That's his struggle. If he sees it as a struggle, maybe he doesn't. That's his thing. It doesn't affect me. The only problem I would have is if he were pushing his views on children, which the left is absolutely doing, as they've told you, they've come out in the open. It's out in the open in your face. We're going to convert your kids. Now, to my knowledge, Caitlyn is against all of that. Okay, cool. But the conservative movement needs to be conservative, right? And before we go down that whole path of like, okay, well, it's just Caitlyn, it's better than Gavin Newsom. Okay, but once you bring that under the conservative tent, then the conservative tent becomes watered down. Like, at what point do you stop conserving? Right? You get what I'm saying? You got to draw the line somewhere. Now, this is just an interview. That's what we would, I'm on board with the interview. You interview somebody because they're running for governor. They're at CPAC. That's fine. But I personally am not, that's not my thing. But I see a lot of people, and I'm going to go back to the comments here. People are just being evil, like saying awful things about Caitlyn as a person. And I'm just like, hey, man, let he who is out without sin cast the first stone. I mean, that's just the way that I roll. I'm just not going to go so far as to say that this person is evil and they're wicked and they're a demon. And it's like, if somebody is saying that, then who are you? Maybe you should be running for governor since you've clearly passed the purity test. But I totally get the whole, we're not conserving anything. And people judge him like this guy killed a woman and all this other stuff, that's just kind of my take on it. So I'm going to let you guys kind of hash it out in the comments, and you can leave a comment. I know for a fact I got downvotes because I didn't exactly agree with everybody, but that's just the nature of the business here on YouTube and just being a content creator. Not everybody's going to like what you say. Some people are going to dislike. Again, For the record, I do not endorse Caitlyn Jenner for governor. I think that it's a mistake to think that, oh, we can own the libs. How's the left going to deal with this? It's better than Gavin Newsom. A lot of people just seeding that like, well, at least it's better than Gavin Newsom. At least it's not this. At least it's not that. That's all the way on the other coast, the left coast. So that doesn't even affect me to begin with. It doesn't matter to me who's governor over there. Would I prefer that a conservative is governing the largest state in the union that has so many seats in Congress and so much power and siphons off taxpayer dollars and all that? Of course. But it doesn't affect me so much since it's way across the country. Now, obviously, I would prefer a traditional conservative candidate as opposed to Caitlyn Jenner. Of course, that's my personal preference. That's what I would prefer. I'm not on board with calling somebody the opposite gender just because they said they're that gender and because they dress that way. That's just me. But more power to the people that are doing it. And I think that is the only way to fairly address the situation. The only fair way to look at it is, hey, that's them. They're not me. They're not pushing their views on me. I get the whole slippery slope with degeneracy and everything, but that's a grown man. He's not pushing his views on kids, and that's that. So I don't want to like talk in circles, but you guys get what I'm saying. It's just crazy that so many people are piling on right side right now. Like, I'm unsubbing, you guys aren't conservative and blah, blah, blah. It's like, we're a media company. So we're going to interview people. That's smart to interview people. If let's say I was there, I'm not at CPAC. If I was there and let's say, I don't know, let's say Andrew Yang, for whatever reason, showed up to CPAC. If Andrew Yang was at CPAC, I would be like, hey, Andrew Yang, could you come over and do an interview with Right Side? I would have him over, even though he's a liberal. He's a leftist. Oh, my God, he's a Marxist. Why are you interviewing him? He's a communist. Okay, I would interview him and ask him questions about his policy. I would grill him on why is he this? Why is he why isn't he a conservative since he's a business owner? I would have all these questions for him as opposed to, well, I'm only going to interview people that reinforce the viewer's point of view and their perspective. So we need that confirmation bias. Come on here and say all these things. Don't you want to be introduced to different perspectives and have the person interviewing actually do some journalism, actually ask them questions, put them on the hot seat, challenge them, something that you don't see right now on Fox News, CNN, MSNBC. Isn't that what Right Side is doing? I'm just giving you an example of what I would do if I was at CPAC. I would interview somebody because it's my job. That's something that we are doing as a media company, as somebody that you guys support. So it's crazy to see people wanting to leave and jump ship, and that's fine. They're allowed to do that. But guess what? If they support Trump and they like seeing Trump rallies, they'll be right back because we're the only ones that do it. And we do it better than anyone else. We show the lines. We interview people. We do what we do, and nobody does it better. And that's why we have had a skyrocketing support of people. That's why the president himself, Trump, shouted us out. Trump did an interview with Brian Glenn. Okay. We are recognized worldwide, not just nationwide, worldwide. So for the people that want to jump ship and get all butthurt because, oh my God, they interviewed Caitlyn Jenner. You guys aren't Republicans. You're turncoats. It's like, okay, first of all, if you're going to unsub, just do it. There's no reason to be like, I'm so done with this channel. It's like, no, you're not. You just want attention. You just want me to say, please don't go. Please don't leave. It's like, get over yourself. It's not that serious. That's what really irked me about this. And that's why I had to bring it up. That's why I had to say something about it because, you know, people are allowed to have their own opinion about this. I get it. We're going to be ratioed on some videos, some tweets. You know, it is what it is. I personally, last time I'm saying it, I personally am not on board with calling somebody a woman when they're a man. I'm just not going to do it. But I'm not going to go and disrespect them and say that they're subhuman and treat them like garbage because God is watching that too. And like I said, love the sin or hate the sin. That's where I stand. And I'll leave it at that. Okay. And also, there's more important things going on than what's happening at CPAC right now. So much more. And it's outside of our border. I want to talk about the situation in Haiti. Okay. Now, Haiti, as many of you know, if you've been paying attention, that's the poorest country in the Western Hemisphere. They've had some struggles. I mean, if you remember back in 2010, they had that major earthquake. A lot of people died. There's a bunch of like shanty towns on a hill and people just died inside their house. Horrible, horrible tragedy. There's a lot of people who fled Haiti, came here to the U.S. A ton of them are in Florida. So they've been in turmoil. It's not a country that's stable by any means. And then when you factor in like the global collapse of the economy, it created this disaster. And now their president is assassinated. Anytime a world leader is assassinated, I think that's big news. Whether, obviously we got our own problems here in the US. That's what I care most about. But Haiti's not that far away. And surprise, surprise, we're being roped into it because we're sending Department of Homeland Security, DHS. I was trying to think of the acronym. I'm like, wait, what is it? Anyway, DHS and FBI officials down there to investigate the assassination of this president. Okay, now there's some shady stuff over here going on in Haiti, and it just doesn't pass the smell test. So let's watch this little news clip right here. And I want you guys to just listen to this and think about this critically. Don't put on your tinfoil hat. Don't be a conspiracy theorist, or doesn't matter. But look at this through a critical lens and tell me what you think.
ABC News have both confirmed that Haiti's government is requesting the White House send in U.S. troops before the Caribbean nation descends deeper into chaos. And tonight, ABC News correspondent Marcus Moore sat down with Haiti's interim prime minister, Claude Joseph.
President Moise was apparently tortured in his home when he was killed. And it was at the moment when the acting prime minister was talking about who the president was and what he stood for, that he became emotional. Calvin, there were tears in his eyes.
You brought up the First Lady, Madam Moise.
Okay, hold on. Pause real quick. My bad here. Okay, I just want to get myself on the screen with this thing. Nope, I did it wrong. I messed up. Okay, there we go. All right. So before I go any further, this president was not liked according to media, right? Now, just like if you're living in another country and you see nothing but mainstream media about Trump, you would think everyone in America hates Trump. He's just a hated man. Apparently, that's what they're saying about this guy in Haiti to make it seem like, well, he was assassinated just by everyday Haitians, just random people in his country that didn't like him. I'm not so certain about that.
How is she doing right now?
We spoke a few times today. I know she's in stable condition. I keep her in my prayer.
Friday night from Haiti, this brand new video from the home where 4 suspects were killed in a shootout on Wednesday. The unfolding story gets even more bizarre. Haitian police have also arrested 11 armed suspects who tried to break into the Taiwanese embassy. Colombia's defense minister is now requesting information on the Colombian nationals who are former members of the military, and from the White House, a commitment.
Okay. Why are Colombians in Haiti that were in the military? According to reports, there were people speaking English and Spanish, so it doesn't sound like he was killed by people who hated him. It sounds like he was assassinated by outsiders. Now, here's where I really have a problem with this whole situation. We'll let our favorite circle back person explain it.
To help.
We will be sending senior FBI and DHS officials to Port-au-Prince as soon as possible to assess the situation and how we may be able to assist.
So far, nearly 30 people have been arrested, 2 men with South Florida ties. One of them, James Solage, who ran a nonprofit from a suite at this North Lauderdale strip mall on State Road 7.
Okay, I'll get to this part in a second. I should have paused it right after Jen Psaki was done. Why are we sending FBI anywhere outside of our country? The FBI, I'm sorry, the Alphabet Boys, a joke, woke, not doing their job, arresting Trump supporters. Now all of a sudden, oh my gosh, we got to send some FBI agents down to Haiti. Not that we can actually do anything here in the United States where we have legit problems happening here, right? We still, it's been what, 2 years, 3 years? We still don't know who killed the most prolific pedophile that was trafficking young girls to former presidents and other elites. No FBI investigation there. No FBI investigation into Hunter Biden's laptop. What's on his laptop? What's on Anthony Weiner's laptop? Are we ever going to find out? You got all this crime. You got killers that aren't arrested, people getting killed and dragged out of their cars on Puerto Rican Day in Chicago. You got so much going on here in this country. But we're going to send FBI agents down to Haiti, where supposedly, and we'll get into it after the video, supposedly this president was against the World Health Organization and the vaccines. No Haitians have been vaccinated, apparently. So I'm just saying, but there's more to this.
Based on state records, documents show it is still active, called Jacques Bell First. And on the website, there's a picture of a man who appears to be Solange. And in this online video, Solange talks about charitable work. The 35-year-old is reportedly from Jacques Bell, a city southeast of Port-au-Prince.
And I saw those video also, but sorry, I don't want to make any comment, okay?
No comment from the man's state records list as the treasurer of the nonprofit. On Thursday night, Solange's relatives in Broward didn't believe the news.
He was a good boy. He doesn't have no military training. He wasn't in military.
Meanwhile, Haiti's First Lady Martine Moïse continues to recover from critical injuries at Jackson's Ryder Trauma Center from the assassination at her home. The Prime Minister apparently making her a promise.
He gave her his word that he will seek justice for what happened to her husband. And that's why he has called on the U.S. authorities to send in more troops and investigators to help them catch the people responsible for this assassination.
And according to at least one news agency, Haiti is also requesting the United Nations send in peacekeepers who left 4 years ago, and the White House will also send COVID-19 vaccines as early as next week to Haiti.
Okay, so there you have it. So the Haitian president has been assassinated, and the result of that is now the United States is going to send an FBI to investigate this, or maybe cover it up. I don't know. We'll see. And he was tortured, and it sounds like it was very well orchestrated. Now, again, Haiti is the poorest country in the Western Hemisphere. So if it's about them hating their president, how did they orchestrate an assassination of a president? I don't know anything about his leadership or his politics or any of that. But the fact that a world leader was just taken out, and the people that they've arrested aren't even of Haitian descent, and they were speaking English and Spanish, and you just saw that they were arresting people from Colombia, and now they're sending vaccines to Haiti. I'm just saying, man, that doesn't pass the smell test for me. Maybe for you guys it does. For me, that is shady. And when you look at it through the context of Haiti's shady relationship to the United States, specifically the Clinton Foundation, then it really makes sense. There's something else going on. This is not just the story. This is the decoy narrative right here. Guaranteed there's more to this story than meets the eye, than what they're telling us. And the timing of it, right as they're amping up this vaccine push, they're just going hard. The Delta variant, they're putting out all this propaganda. Nat Geo got people laid out over grave sites. Like, you should be very afraid of the Delta variant. You know, as we've reached what, like 2/3 of the country has been vaccinated. Now they're pushing this fear mongering. Now we've got all these variants coming out. Now they're coming out after all these people have been vaccinated and we're basically back to normal. Now you've got this push, this push to vaccinate everyone. We're going door to door, and there's this new variant. You got to be afraid. And oh, by the way, Haiti's president is dead, and now we're going to send in some vaccines now that he's dead and out of the way, because this other guy, the prime minister, whoever his guy is there, I don't know how their leadership is structured. Now all of a sudden, he's requesting UN peacekeepers and all this stuff. So now it just seems like an occupation. Does this seem like a Libya situation? Maybe. Remember Gaddafi in Libya? What happened when they regime changed Gaddafi? A power vacuum and an open air slave trade still going on to this day. Now, let's see what happens with Haiti. Let's see if this turns into some occupation with the United States, as we just ended the war in Afghanistan. Now what's going to happen in Haiti? First of all, it's none of our damn business what goes on in Haiti. If anybody should be getting involved, which I don't think anybody should be getting involved, but if any country should be getting involved, shouldn't it be France? Wasn't that a French territory? Doesn't France have some like debt thing with them? That's their issue. Even though it's closer to our shores, it's their issue. So we shouldn't be sending any agents down there. We should be leaving them alone. But historically, back in 2010, and this is all documented, do not take my word for it at all. Do your own research. Do your own research and look into what happened with the Clinton Foundation in Haiti. Go down to Little Haiti in Miami. Go down, talk to any Haitian person you know and ask them, what do you think about the U.S. government interfering in Haitian politics and, calling it philanthropy? Because after that earthquake, there were children trafficked out of that country and they got caught. They got busted. A woman by the name of Laura Silsby. Look it up. Laura Silsby, who now, I don't know if she still holds that position. It was in charge, or maybe still is in charge, of the Amber Alert system, but she was busted trafficking children out of Haiti to the United States. She got busted, but Bill Clinton stepped in and got her charges reduced to arranging irregular travel for minors. That's a very clever word salad way to describe trafficking children. Let me make it full screen right here. This is kind of a weird backdrop thing. So Laura Silsby, close ties to the Clinton Foundation, trafficked children out and ended up getting a job with Amber Alert after being busted trafficking children out. You guys see how everything's so twisted and inverted? Epstein's a pedophile, but Bill Gates is still friends with him after he's a convicted pedophile. Laura Silsby trafficked children out of Haiti, but because Bill Clinton intervened, used his power, flexed his muscle, she got off scot-free pretty much, but she got a slap on the wrist. I think she's technically like a felon or whatever, but she gets a job with Amber Alert. And it's just a little bit coincidental, because I know there's a lot of coincidence theorists out there. Conspiracy theorists, those aren't really that real. It's just, what's a conspiracy theory today that's going to be the truth tomorrow or next year, right? Right? Anyway, Haiti has a lot of rare earth minerals, and I believe they got oil reserves more than Venezuela. It just feels like this is a good time for the U.S. to do some intervention. This is what it feels like. This feels like some intervention, the beginning of it. Because right after the president's assassinated, their top priority is getting vaccines to Haiti. Haiti. Who really travels in and out of Haiti? Who really travels in and out of Haiti? What are their COVID numbers? Last I checked, they're some of the lowest on earth. Some of the lowest COVID, what do you call it? COVID infections on earth. So what's with the big push? Are Haitians, is that really the top of their priority? When most of them are dirt poor, their government is corrupt as hell. You think one of their top priorities is, oh gosh, we just got to get the jab. Can we get the jab in here now that our oppressive dictator president has been murdered and our country is in turmoil, like maybe not never before? Who knows? Maybe it was worse than this, but I got to imagine that if your leader gets assassinated, your country's going to it's going to plunge into chaos. It's just going to spiral even worse. You think that top of their list is protect us from COVID when nobody really travels in and out of that country? I'm just saying, guys, do your own research on that. It's weird. It's got my spidey senses tingling, and I don't like it. Nope. So that's what's going on in Haiti. And that's why people should pay attention to it. Because they're sending FBI agents down there. I'm just saying. The same FBI agents that are worried about pronouns and tracking down those evil white supremacist Trump supporters from January 6th, That's one of their top priorities. And now they're going over to Haiti. Just saying, what are the priorities there? Corruptness, man. Okay, moving along to the World Economic Forum holding their cyber Polygon. It started yesterday. I think it goes through like the 11th or 12th or something like that. But this is their dry run for a cyber pandemic, as this creepy guy who I'm about to show you, Klaus Schwab, has been talking about. Now, this is the same World Economic Forum that brought you the Event 201 right alongside Bill and Melinda Gates and the Johns Hopkins Institute. Now we've got this cyber Polygon where they're basically going to start fear mongering about how we don't have the cybersecurity that we need. We need to have more eyes and ears. Basically, we need to grow government in the event that we get cyber attacked. Just wild stuff. Check it out.
Masks are not sufficient. We need vaccines to immunize ourselves. The same is true for cyber attacks. Here too, we have to move from simple protection to immunization. We need to build IT infrastructures that have digital antibodies built in inherently to protect themselves.
Like, what is this guy talking about? What is he talking about? Let me move this over here onto the other screen. What is this guy talking about? We need digital antibodies. What does that mean to you? What does that mean to you? Digital antibodies. That sounds to me like things are about to get a lot more weird. And that guy, apparently, Klaus Schwab, he's got amazing foresight because he saw COVID-19 coming. Guys, can you believe it? The World Economic Forum, this guy's whole thing, which is, of course, masked as this great good for the world. We're going to help the world. He just cares so much about you and me, right? As he says, you'll own nothing and be happy, but that's another story. You'll be a happy little slave. He has amazing foresight because his institute, along with Bill and Melinda Gates and Johns Hopkins, they held their little pandemic simulation in October of 2019. October of 2019, they had Event 201 in New York City, where they did a dry run for a viral coronavirus outbreak that infects the world. And what happened like 4 or 5 months later? Oh, that's right. COVID-19 popped up out of nowhere, it seems, or somebody had bats, or maybe it leaked out of a Wuhan virology lab, where they were studying it in China, the country that wants to be the hegemonic superpower of the world by 2050. Maybe that happened, or maybe it's just by coincidence, But either way, Klaus Schwab has amazing foresight, and he was concerned that we were going to face some giant pandemic, and then that's what happened. But hey, that's just a coincidence, right? Coincidence. You right-wing Trumpers, you crazy Neanderthals, and you're thinking about stuff outside of the box. You're the real problem with the United States. You're the problem with America. You right-wing Trumpers, you conservatives, you conspiracy theorists. Except that all of that I said was true. It's all true. It all happened. Event 201 happened. Then COVID came months later. And now we're finding out what we knew back then, that virus leaked from a laboratory in China, while the media, the prostitutes, ran interference, blamed Trump, blamed everyone else, kept travel open, did all of this stuff. This outbreak happened all over the world. And now here we are in July of 2021, and they're talking about a cyber Polygon. We need to pay attention to the threat of a cyber attack against our water supply, against our internet, against our banking systems, against what would you do if your cell phone just stopped working, right? Suddenly, all of those doomsday preppers don't look like psychos. Alex Jones was right. Right? All these people that were talking about this, you need to be prepared. Now they don't look so dumb. Now, COVID caught a lot of people off guard because they weren't paying attention, or they just didn't know. They just weren't aware. But will they let this go under the radar? Are they going to let this slip? Are people going to just let this happen? Because, like I said, Klaus Schwab, that dude is Nostradamus. He can just see stuff coming. So now that they're doing this dry run of a cyber pandemic, what's going to come next? Maybe, I don't know, power outage, maybe cyber attacks. I mean, you've got rolling blackouts in the United States. You saw what happened with Texas and their power grid. You saw that we had an attack, a cyber attack already this year on our what did we have? We have it on our oil company. I forget the name of the oil company. And then on the second largest meat supplier. So what's next? Y'all hear the baby crying? We're having cyber attacks already. So this is already basically soft exposure for what's to come. Now, everybody watching this, are you going to be surprised if, I don't know, 6-7 months from now, let's call it, I don't know, January of next year, all of a sudden, boom, banking systems go down worldwide. Oh, time to grow government. And there's nobody in there to resist it, push back because Democrats have power, right? I'm just saying, think about this, right? We're going to have some kind of mail-in ballots or something. We're going to have to do the election, the midterm elections differently next year because, we had this cyber attack, this crazy cyber attack. And now we have this lockdown that we have to go through. And we can't do normal elections because, reasons that we can't explain right now, but we need more power and control over your life. And also we need to do the elections this way because we had this cyber attack. Aren't you guys so happy that we got together and did the cyber Polygon last year? Now we're prepared for it. Are you going to be surprised if that happens when it just freaking happened? Not even 2 years ago. They telegraphed the entire thing. That's the thing. They're telling you. They are literally telling people what their plan is. They're saying, you will own nothing and be happy. This is the great reset. Get used to it. This is your new life. These elites, these people that meet for the Bilderberg, which they said that was a conspiracy theory. Guess what? Guess who was right about that also? Alex Jones. When he said, a bunch of elites meet up in Switzerland or wherever it is. And they talk about how they're going to control the world, how these elite billionaires, they talk about, here's what we can do to end world hunger, end starvation, stop the war on terror. They get together, these elites, these Oprah Winfrey and Warren Buffett, Bill Gates, and high-level leaders. Stacey Abrams went to the Bilderberg meeting, I think 2019. You guys didn't know that. Stacey Abrams, one of the chosen ones who was supposed to be governor of Georgia. I'm just saying, if you piece it all together, it's not hard to see what's really happening. And I know because not every single dot is connected that it makes me sound like some kooky, whack job, tinfoil hat wearing conspiracy theorist. But I'm somebody that uses the two eyes in my head. I can see what has happened before. I know I don't trust government. I don't trust these billionaires, these globalists. And why would I? Because I've been paying attention. So, I'm going to be suspicious, to put it mildly. I'm going to be suspicious when they're telling me that I will own nothing and be happy by the year 2030. They're saying I will be an obedient little slave. And they're bragging about their cyber Polygon exercise, their dry run for another power grab. And that is all I had to say. Honestly, I kind of went on a little rant right there. I want to read some of your comments. I want to thank everybody for tuning in right now. I didn't think I would get an audience this big on a Saturday night because some of my favorite YouTubers are live streaming right now as we speak, including Anthony Brian Logan and Anomaly. Chi Sexton, thank you for the super chat. Only 1/3 have been vaccinated. That's the reason for the push. I don't know the exact number, but to my knowledge, it's 2/3. But the media could be lying about that. How do I know? How would I know who's been vaccinated? All I know is the timing of everything right now is hilarious. And oh my gosh, let's rush the vaccines to Haiti because they certainly don't need food, drinking water. I I don't know, structures to live in that are safe in case they have another like ridiculous earthquake. I mean, hurricanes go through there quite a bit. They just had Elsa come through. I don't know, man. What do I know? I'm just a guy on YouTube. Sophia Grace says, God bless you and yours. Love your commentary. Thank you. I appreciate all of you. Tanya, thank you for your super chat. You guys are amazing. I see I've got 222 people watching. Please, could everyone give it a thumbs up? Everyone watching right now, just do it. Like the stream so that people can see it and I can circumvent these algorithms. Maybe I can grow a little bit. It'd be nice to grow organically for a change. I appreciate all the new subs that have come over from Salty Cracker, from Let's Be Frank, from Paint the Trump, from Right Side, from ABL, from all the other people that have given me a shout out. God bless y'all. But I would like to grow organically. Wouldn't it be nice if this just popped up and somebody's recommended? I know that's not likely to happen on YouTube. I know the spiel. Get on other platforms. I am. I'm probably going to have to pull this stream down afterwards, but you will still be able to find it on ODYSEE. That's one thing that I like about ODYSEE and BitChute, honestly, is this stream will be carbon copied, mirrored on both of those platforms. So even if I wiped it clean from YouTube, you could still watch it on another platform, 2 other platforms actually. So that's nice to know, because what I was thinking I would do at first, and I got to chat with Let's Be Frank and see how this will work, is instead of breaking up my live streams like he does, he would do an hour-long stream, but he would stop recording on YouTube 30 minutes in and then say all the spicy stuff he wants to say on ODYSEE. Whereas I think I would just rather do the whole live stream on YouTube, because I know it's going to go to ODYSEE right after, and then I can make it private on YouTube. And then if people missed it, they didn't catch it live, they can go over to ODYSEE and watch it while I also remove it from YouTube. I have no idea why I'm telling you guys this. This is what I'm thinking. I'm just thinking out loud. I just think that that's probably what I'm going to do, and that'll be the best way to go forward with saying what I want to say and having it still be on the internet where people can find it. So you need to find me on ODYSEE. It's much easier for me to just say what I want to say right here, especially when I'm doing it live, because I don't know if YouTube can really catch it live. If they could, they would have taken down Trump's speech while he was giving the speech instead of letting it sit on YouTube for like at least a week and letting it accumulate views. They would just cut it out right then. So I think maybe that's true, where after this stream, I can just, set it to private. And if people didn't see it live, they'll know to go to ODYSEE. That's probably what's going to happen. So yes. Somebody said something about Salty will lead the charge. What else can I talk about, man? It's just crazy that they tell you what they're doing to your face. They brag about it. They say, we're coming for your kids. We're going to convert your kids. You will own nothing and be happy. They call you insurrectionists. They call you dregs of society, deplorables. I mean, they hate you. They hate you. How can you coexist with people who hate you? People who don't like you? They don't share your values as a starting point, but they actually hate you. They think that you are a basket of deplorables. They think that you're subhuman. They think that you are less worthy of oxygen, and they treat you that way. For a majority Christian nation, Christians got it kind of bad here in the United States. I'm just saying, Christians got it kind of bad here. The only religion here that gets routinely mocked by late night talk show hosts, celebrities, athletes, media, they mock Christians. They mock us in our own country, but they would dare never say anything about Islam. Never, ever. They hate you. They hate me. They're full of hate. They do the devil's work. How many people can you see? You can basically see it. They're under demonic influence. People like Lori Lightfoot. Look at Chicago. She lets just demonic energy flourish and fester in her city. Remember when I told you guys I went to Washington, D.C. for the first time back in 2018, and I felt the heaviness of that city. I felt the dark, spiritual energy of that city. I wasn't saying that to be hyperbolic. I was saying it because it was true. That was the first time I was there. I'm used to being around trees and nature, and Florida just has different vibes to it, at least where I live. I go to DC and I walk around and I get up to the Capitol and it just feels heavy and depressing and dark and negative. That's how I feel when I go to Chicago. That's how Minneapolis feels. That's how New Orleans feels. That's how a lot of different places in America are. And guess what's going on in those cities? Lots of murder, lots of rape, lots of drug abuse, lots of homelessness, lots of sadness, human trafficking. That's all happening. And then the people, the demons like Lori Lightfoot, they're just like, actually, crime is on the decline. And if you criticize me, it's because you are a homophobe and a racist. That's what she says, because she knows what to use her skin color and her gender. She uses it as a shield and as a weapon. She can go on the attack and say, you can't interrupt me because I'm a black woman. And then if you criticize her, she's like, you can't say anything about me. I'm black. That's the doctrine of the left. That's the doctrine of Satan. That's the father of lies, the wicked, the evil that is used to manipulate people with positions of power like Lori Lightfoot, the third largest city in America. They don't call it Chirac because everyone in that city gets along. People are there are getting murdered. Today is Saturday. They usually have their most shootings on the weekend. How many people have been shot in that one city since the 46 minutes I've been live in Chicago? That's just one city. And you got the mayor overseeing all of it, just letting all that wicked, evil, demonic killing, sacrifice just happen. And then she'll go and say, I'm not interviewing white reporters. What are those priorities? What are those priorities? And how is that going unchecked by the media? No one in the press says anything. It's because they're all on board. They'll run defense. They will run circles around people like Lori Lightfoot, Ilhan Omar, Maxine Waters. They circle the wagons around their little sacred cows, and then they'll shame you. So that's why I said, 2-3 months ago, I just floated the idea. I know it's probably never going to happen, but to me, it feels like a practical solution to split the country into two. Because again, how can you coexist with people who hate you? People who will send their militant militia group, Antifa, BLM, out to torch your business, surround your house, threaten your family, threaten your kids, indoctrinate your kids, assault you if you stand up for liberty, assault you if you go and protest against a grown man exposing his genitals to children at a spa. They'll send people out to assault you. And then what do they do on 4th of July? They torch the American flags. They celebrate fire and destruction and chaos and death. That's why they put up statues of George Floyd. And people don't see it's spiritual warfare. Look at what's happening in our country. It's getting worse. It's deteriorating. We're spiraling. How can people not see this? How can people not look? How can you not look at Nancy Pelosi and see a demon inside of her? Look at the woman's face. I'm just saying. And look at all the evil that happens right there in her city. Look at all the evil she gets to oversee because she's got the third highest position in the free world. It's not just her. It's Hillary Clinton. It's the Clinton Foundation. It's the Laura Silsby, the Jeffrey Epstein, the Ed Buck, Kevin Spacey. Now they're talking about Ghislaine Maxwell might get out because of the same thing that happened with Cosby. Yeah. Don't be surprised if Ghislaine Maxwell circumvents justice and gets out too. Did you really think that was going to happen? Did you really think that Ghislaine Maxwell was going to give up all the names and, Bill Clinton, all my enemies are getting arrested. Trump's fighting the deep state from Mar-a-Lago. Not exactly, guys. Not exactly. I'm just saying, man, there's so much crime. I've never seen anything like this in my life. I've never in my 30-some years seen everything that's happening, this combined set of circumstances to bring down this free sovereign nation, which we are so blessed to live in. This is the best global position on earth. If you live in the United States of America, congratulations. Don't take your blessing for granted because it can be wiped away overnight. It's slowly happening right now. Right? While they continue to gaslight, lie to you every day. Nope, Joe's fine. He's fine. He is sharp. He's as sharp and as spry as he's ever been. He knows exactly what's going on. I tell you, man, it's a crazy world. Crazy, crazy world. We're almost at an hour already. Damn, that time just flew by. I told you guys I can't really do super long live streams anymore. Well, at least for the time being. But I just wanted to get that off my mind. It's kind of been, I've been thinking about it all day, and I was waiting. I was like, maybe I'll just do a pre-recorded video. Maybe I'll wait till Sunday when I wake up. I'm like, no, this can't wait. I need to talk about, first I need to address what's going on with people trying to jump ship from right side because they don't like one thing or another that we did, but getting all the ratios and to see people just dragging Caitlyn Jenner for what? Because Caitlyn Jenner is a trans person, a man, a man, not even my opinion. That's science. That's biology. That's a man. But I'm not going to go and disrespect. I'm not going to be like, screw you, you freak, you monster. I'm not on board with that. Love the sinner, hate the sin. Let he who is without sin cast the first stone. If you're better than Caitlyn Jenner, you have no skeletons, you got nothing that you could be judged for, then go for it. Grandstand all you want. But unfollowing and I'm going to leave right side broadcasting because you did something I didn't like. Bye. I mean, I don't get why you are, saying that you're going to do it anyway. I just think personally that Caitlyn Jenner, Bruce Jenner, has demons that he has to fight, just like I have demons that I have to fight every single day. The devil wants to consume us all of us. Okay. That's something he's got to work through. That's his struggle. That's his battle. It's not my job to be like, screw you because you're not this and that. It's like that does nothing. It does nothing. Now, it's one thing if we're talking about Lori Lightfoot, people who are openly hostile, openly doing the devil's work, right? You got to call evil by its name. That is a demon. The person running Chicago is demonically possessed because I don't know how else you can justify that. Would you do that if you're mayor? Are you okay with children getting shot every weekend and you're over there worried about critical race theory and George Floyd and all this other stuff? You're worried about that when people are dying in your city, people you supposedly claim to care about? And you expect me to believe that's not demonic influence right there? I'm just saying, not to get off on a tangent. People attacking Caitlyn Jenner, I'm just not on board with, but I'm also not on board with Caitlyn Jenner for governor of California. And I think that opinion is perfectly okay to have because I want to treat people respectfully. He hasn't pushed his views on children. He's not talking about we're coming for your kids. Maybe he's the best for California. Maybe not. That's California. You get what you vote for, California. If California is so far left that opposition to Gavin Newsom looks like Caitlyn Jenner, then California's got work to do. Just saying. Sophia says, you are my favorite personality, RSBN personality. Well, thank you. That's high praise. I appreciate it. Looking forward to more live streams for you. Thanks. Good night. P.S. Trump won. Thank you. God bless you for that super chat. You're amazing. I will actually be in California next weekend because there is a Marjorie Taylor Greene, Matt Gaetz, America First rally. And I'll be the lone wolf corresponding for that. So I haven't done that in a long time. So I'm looking forward to that. So I'll be out there. I'll be in Orange County, California next week. If you're out there, come on out. Love to see you. Charles says, Mike, the idea of the U.S. splitting could go like this. All the free, sensible mountain Midwest southern states from a country along with some countries from the West and East Coast. I don't even know how the split would go geographically. It was actually kind of fun to do the exercise in my mind. I actually really thought deeply about it one day. I'm like, how would that work? Which states would thrive based on not politics, but based on resources, right? Based on agriculture, based on trade. If it was like, they were their own country, but all the states that have like the best weather, growing potential for agriculture, best industries, Florida, hands down, is going to be the top for tourism and everything else. Maybe it's something like that. People just go to the states that make the most sense based on the way they want to live their life instead of trying to transform other states. I don't want to transform California. I want Florida to stay Florida. Would it be great if other states became just like Florida? Yeah, because it would give me more options of places if I wanted to leave Florida that I could go to and have the same low tax, limited government, freedom, personal responsibility, all that stuff, nice weather. But I mean, Georgia's a blue state. I think Georgia might be gone, conquered territory. Do you really think Brian Kemp's getting reelected? I mean, maybe the Senate could flip back red, but I don't know if Georgia to me seems like a lost cause, because once the left has complete control over a state or an area, it's conquered territory. Do you think California is ever turning back? New York? It could. There's a lot of conservatives there, but is it enough to overcome the corruption, the rigged systems in places like California? Do you really think that Maxine Waters keeps getting elected in her district? I mean, honestly, do you really think that? I mean, it's just crazy. Places like Baltimore, Chicago, New York City, do they really keep electing Democrat mayors? Are there really that many just absent-minded people? Well, sure, there's a lot, but how many of those people really exist? Enough to continue doing the same thing over and over, expecting a different result? I don't know, maybe. But to me, it just seems like, how can we legitimately coexist when I have so-called family members blaming me for January 6th? My rhetoric caused people to run into the Capitol building. Really? You never knew me. I had people thinking, Mike, were you inside of the Capitol? Yeah, I was inside of the Capitol. Yeah, I was on the mic like, hey, guys, I'm on right side broadcast. I'll be right back. I need to go in and take a selfie in Nancy Pelosi's office. Like, really? I mean, and on top of that, are the people that unfriended me, the people that wish ill will on me, people that don't want to speak to me. And then, of course, you got people that would just outright assault me, attack me because of what I believe, because of how I think. There's people that will attack you because of the way you were born. There's so much hate in this country, and 90% of it is coming from one side because they're controlled pawns, puppets, pull string dolls, wind up toys for the media that continues to fan the flames, push hate, push propaganda, right? Pushing false narratives like the Covington Catholic. They're trying to drum up race riots. They want everybody at each other's throats. I mean, every single thing on planet Earth has become a wedge issue. Politics. We don't even talk about liberty and low taxes. That's not even what you vote on. Now it's like, who's going to pass this law so that bathrooms, anyone can go to anyone's bathroom? I'm like, can't you just put a sign on the door that says bathroom and anyone can use it? Why does it need to be a trans bathroom? Men go into women's bathroom, women go into men's bathroom. It's just all nonsense. That's where we are, though, in the country. Everything's politicized. Football, fast food, shirts, watches, environment, everything, viruses, everything is politicized and drawn down party lines. And everybody's kind of tribal at this point. It just doesn't feel like we can legitimately coexist. Thank you. I love USA for the super chat. I'm going to actually end this on that note, guys, but I appreciate everybody that tuned in. Appreciate everybody that supports me, supports RSBN. Those of you that have sent super chats, God bless you. Those of you that are members, monthly subscribers, people that support me on Patreon, people that email me and say prayers for me. I love all of you guys, all of you. This isn't just my channel. It's your channel. Thanks for all of the comments, the well wishes, the blessings, everything. You guys are amazing. Links are always in the description. I'm probably going to make this stream private after this. So if you want to see it, again, go to ODYSEE. That's where it's going to be. It's also on BitChute. Also, follow me on Getter. I'm on Getter. Just search Mike Nificent. I should pop right up. They're not going to give me a verification badge, which is fine. I don't really care. I don't need it. It's whatever. But I won't be getting it on there because I don't have that big of a following. That's fine. I don't do it for the following or the clout. I do it because it's the right thing to do, and that's where God has me right now. Anyway, I've said enough. God bless you guys. I'll catch you in the next stream. Do your research. Tell the truth. Shame the devil. Good night.